Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Hardline Transport Solutions Rebel Truck Series for the final race of the season. That's right, the Championship 4 here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You see how the playoffs have gone so far, and we are down to the final 4 drivers, and only one's going to leave the champion tonight. Andy Kurtz, Daniel Pope, Dylan Bates, and Michael Kostick going to battle it out for the championship of this series. I'm Eddie Smith. Welcome to Rebel Racing Network, and glad to have you here tonight as we get ready to take on Charlotte Motor Speedway. We all know it, a historical track, one of the biggest races of the year in all of motorsports, the World 600 here at Charlotte. And I mean, just a beautiful facility. That the track is starting to get a little wear on it, and it's getting a lot of fun. But we're ready to grid up as we get ready to get this thing rolling. And, man, we're going to have a blast. Let's go ahead and jump right into the starting grid and give out the Chuck Pegleg Pole Award winner. That's going to go to Jonathan Cofield, who is going to take over the top spot. And he's going to take home that award. As we get into the Jeff Bott Jr. starting grid, Dylan Bates, playoff driver, going to start outside the front row. Starting in row number 2 is Daniel Pope and Michael Kostick. 2 more final 4 contenders. Starting in row number 3 is going to be Kyle Roberts and Elliott Carlson. Starting right behind them is your final 4 playoff driver, your final 4 playoff driver. And that's going to be Andy Kurtz. And the back of the pack current leader, which is Corey Bigley. Tyler Rice starting 9th. Alex V starting 10th. And Matt Clement, who will be doing race control tonight. Well, man, we are getting ready to get this thing going. Really excited to see who comes out the champion. That's going to be a lot of fun here tonight. Let's take a look at the race analysis. Of course, we've got the 100 laps here tonight, no stages, 4 total sets of tires, 80% fuel, and of course the highest finishing Final 4 driver is the champion. So pretty simple, not much to think about. If you're a playoff driver, just finish higher than the others and you're good. So, but I got to tell you, man, it's been a fantastic season, and I think we're going to see a very good end to it. Just 10 drivers, that's pretty common for a Final 4 race, as guys just don't want to cause any issues out of, getting in the way and messing up a championship run or anything like that. So, pretty normal to see that. So, what to expect tonight? I'm expect to see some good racing. I think it's going to be a quick race, a green flag race to the end, but who knows? It all could go wrong. Of course, last week we had a lot of drama between the playoff drivers, and it's going to be interesting to see who's out on top and how it all plays out. I mean, there's some bad blood for sure between the Final 4, and will it be a thing that happens tonight, or will they squash it and focus on the championship? So it's in the driver's hands on what they decide to do in that as far as that goes, but. Either way, I'm looking forward to it. We got on driver cams. We got Alex Veith with a party hat on. Let's go. Tyler Rice and Kyle Roberts on your cams for tonight. So 100 laps. This track's abrasive. The high line works pretty good. We'll see a lot of drivers on the low line early. But I think maybe as tires start to wear out, you're going to see that top line, especially in 1 and 2, maybe be a good idea to try. So we'll see how that goes. We're getting ready to go green here. Jonathan Cofield going to lead us down to the green flag, and green flag is out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As Jonathan Cofield going to lead us down to the green flag. Now, we showed the starting positions for the playoff drivers, but they're actually going to have to start in the back. Of course, there's only 10 cars, so it's not a big deal. But all playoff drivers get an EOL, so the Final 4 drivers will have to work their way through the field to get to the front. I don't imagine it's going to take that off that long. So looking forward to seeing that. I'm going to say looking forward to it. Hello, everybody in chat. Mike Heath, Kevin Kendrick. Happy Father's Day to you fellas and all the other fathers out there. Beautiful day to be racing here at Charlotte. So far, Jonathan Cofield and Elliott Carlson has sort of set themselves apart as we watch Dylan Bates here. Moves himself up into the 5th position, trying to get to the outside of Kyle Roberts, but right there on his bumper, that allows Corey Bigley and Michael Kossick get a run there. So Michael Kossick currently your highest running playoff drivers. He's been able to dice his way through the field. And Cofield sets the fastest lap of the race up front, starting to put away in that Target 58 machine with Elliott Carlson right on the bumper. Elliott Carlson and Cofield, both these drivers, class in the field. These two have been really, really good, and both drivers had opportunities to get into that Final Four last week and just came up short, the both of them. Jonathan Cofield maybe the most painful out of the two. Just missing that Final Four cutoff. But I've been saying all year long, this field has been one of the most competitive that I've ever seen. And so to make the Final 8, I feel like is a pretty great accomplishment. And to make the Final Four, it's just extremely, extremely tough. But right now, Jonathan Cofield leads the field as we cross over lap number 4, and Elliott Carlson right there on the bumper trying to, I'm sure he could probably get a run there, but no point in it early. Just try to ride, pull away from the pack. They've already pulled away from by it. A little less than a second now. Kostick is starting to reel him in just a little bit. All 4 playoff drivers have been able to move up into the top 5, except for Andy Kurtz, who's right there in 6th. So already nose to tail, I think it's going to be a battle all night. I mean, these are the best. It's going to be, I feel like Daniel Pope has been the class of the field overall. I think if you had to give somebody an overall award for the season, I think he wins it. But I just, knowing the speed of Michael Kossick, the ability to win races by Dylan Bates, and just the being able to depend on Andy Kurtz to be there at the end, it's really a toss-up. It's hard to say exactly who is going to come away with this thing. But we are 93 laps away from crowning our champion. See Michael Kossick starting to ease up a little bit there on the lead pack, but back here in the back, got battle between Corey Bigley. That's your current back of the pack champion, and he will take that championship tonight as Brandon Wallace not here tonight. So Corey Bigley, your back of the pack champion, didn't make the playoffs, but is definitely the best of the rest, as they say. So Corey Bigley started in that 8th position, is currently running there, got Alex V down to the inside. Alex trying to get that Chevrolet, get a run on the inside, but Corey does a great job on the outside and able to get the run down the front straightaway and hold that position for now. They are getting racy back here. I love to see it. Alex drives it really deep into the corner, but wasn't able to get that position on Corey. He actually has to back out of it, and he's going to lose a spot to Tyler Rice because of it. Up there at the top, one of the few drivers so far that has wanted to get up there. And I don't know what it is, but there's something different about Tyler. I can't tell. He looks a little bit different. I'm not real sure what I'm looking at here, but don't know if it may be different hairdo. Something's going on. Maybe a shaved beard type situation. I don't know, but doing good up on the outside, though, is one of the few drivers jumping up there. We'll see how that does to the tires. Haven't seen anybody really jump up there yet outside of him. See a lot of driving in the middle lane, but Tyler the only one so far working that top side. He's not making up too much ground up there, but it may be good to have that data in the memory bank as the tires start to wear, and if you go in on a pit stop, see what the tires look like, and decide if that's where you want to run. But he's currently tracking down Kyle Roberts ever so slightly, just a tad bit faster last lap. I think once he gets up to him and gets side by side, I think he will have the preferred lane. But, that top side does look pretty fast. But up front, we got a battle for second brewing as here comes Michael Kostick to the inside of Elliott Carlson. And I think Kostick, he's not here to play around. Of course, he transferred to the Final Four really quickly. Him and Andy Kurtz was able to get that done early. Michael Kostick winning that first race of the playoffs, and he has been able to take it easy. But now it's time to go. You don't have time to play around if you're Michael. This is it. This is for all the marbles, and he is the one getting through the field the fastest. We'll see what the tire wear looks like, but I've raced a lot with Michael, and he is man, he's a solid race car driver. So. Or at least a virtual one, at least. Well, while we got a little bit of time, let's go check in here on Alex V. What's Alex got going on here? Here with this, he's got the VR on. He's got a party hat on. He's ready to party. I like it. That's somebody with the right attitude here. I don't know if that's a Father's Day thing or what's going on, but he's back here in 10th. Would love to be able to move up a little bit. If he take that VR off, he might be able to see. I don't know. Maybe that's the problem. But he's got the party hat. I want to say he had a birthday not too long ago. I think he just turned 30. So happy birthday, happy Father's Day, all of it. And Merry Christmas to Alex V. Go check in on more playoff drivers. Here is Dylan Bates and Andy Kurtz. They are bringing up the caboose of these playoff drivers. It's so nerve-wracking. Everybody says, "Man, I don't really care about championship. Championship doesn't mean anything. Just a plastic trophy. Nobody's gonna, you're not making any money." But man, we race all season long. You do the gauntlet. You try to be here for every race. See Daniel Pope going to the inside of Elliott Carlson, who's starting to fall back. But you get here down to the end, man, the nerves are getting to you. You get a little nervous. You say, I don't really care too much, but I guarantee you these guys do. They want to win for whatever reason. Everybody finds their own reason why they want to win. I know Daniel Pope after last week getting intentionally wrecked. I know he probably has a chip on his shoulder about that, and it's got something to prove. I mean, there's no better way to give somebody the middle finger, come in here and win that championship. So I think everybody here in the Final Four has got a reason they want to win this race for one way or another, bragging rights, sticking it to somebody else, or just calling yourself the champion. And nobody can take it away from you if you win the championship. You've run the gauntlet. You've raced all of those races. You put in the work and got the results and find yourself in the championship race. I mean, might as well, if you show up for the Final Four, try to win it. So these guys trying to position themselves for the end of this race. I can honestly tell you right now, Daniel Pope is looking really good. In a race like this with only 10 drivers, the likelihood of us having a caution is very low. So you don't have a whole lot of time to make mistakes. We saw Tyler Rice up there running that top line. You don't have a whole lot of opportunities to do a lot of research and trying to figure stuff out if you're a playoff driver. You got to be moving forward, especially here early in this race. And that's what Michael Kostick was doing early, but here on lap 20, Daniel Pope right to the back bumper of Kostick, and he is right there and has been a little bit faster the last couple laps. So Daniel Pope not pulling any punches. He gets right to the back bumper of that 8 machine. He's going to look down to the inside and has a good little run here. The draft getting him right to the back bumper. He's going to peek down to the inside, and here we go. Battle for second, which is also the championship lead, and we'll see if who's willing to fight here early. You know, if you give Daniel Pope that position, you may never see him again. He's one of those type of drivers. So if I'm that 8 car, I'm going to be fighting him hard. That's exactly what he's doing. He is right there on the door like it's the last lap because this is everything. And that's going to allow the guys behind him to catch up. But if you're not moving forward right now, green flag pit stops are not going to be kind to you. So giving up any position like the 8 here, you wonder, why is he fighting so hard this early? You just don't have an option. You've got to fight, and you got to fight for every position, especially if it's against a playoff driver. Now, one thing I do know is that there are quite a few teammates into this race, and we will see is Kostick going to get a little bit out of the groove there. That may be enough. A little crossover he was going to try, but not quite able to do it. He does have a little run. Let's see what he does here. May try to dive down into turn 1. No, he goes up to the high side, and that will give the position to Daniel Pope in that number 16 Toyota as he takes over second place. Now Dylan Bates is able to get around Elliott Carlson as well, so move Dylan up to 4th. Andy Kurtz still in that 6th position. But right now, playoff drivers trying to position themselves. Should be, I would have to guess, I don't exactly know what the fuel run is going to be, but I would imagine it's going to be at least a 1 or 2 stop race. I would imagine they'd be able to make it close to 50. That'll be the mark. If they can make it to lap 50, we know they can make it a 1 stop. But out front, it is still Jonathan Cofield's race, as he may not be fighting for a championship, but to win the final race would be a lot of fun. But talking about teammates, we've got a lot of teammates here. It's funny. Andy Kurtz, Michael Kostick, sort of an affiliate. I wouldn't say they're teammates. Andy Kurtz is BKM, and Michael Kostick is Bandit. But sort of an alliance here on the second half of the season, especially in the playoffs, Andy Kurtz has had with the Bandit. So you've got Andy Kurtz and Michael Kostick sort of teammates. Jonathan Cofield also their teammate. Then you have Dylan Bates, Daniel Pope, who are part of the same team as well. So kind of a 2-on-2 match, a little cage match, if you will. And so we're going to see how that affects this championship. You know, are you willing to help your teammate, you know, by racing another guy really hard to hold somebody up? I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, all that's fair. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's why you have teammates. So what's the point of having a teammate if they're not going to try to help you? Now, I don't expect any kind of physical altercation, no wrecking somebody or anything like that, but I definitely think that if Daniel Pope were to get to the back end of this 58 machine, I think he's going to have an extremely, extremely tough time getting around him. I don't think there'll be any leeway for that 16 machine. But same thing for other people. Elliott Carlson, Corey Bigley, teammates with Dylan and Daniel. I think it's going to be the same thing. You're going to have to fight with those guys. You know, Andy Kurtz back here, he's currently having a fight with Corey Bigley. So, you know, teammates are going to make it or break it, I think, tonight. These guys are working together, trying to get a championship for the team. Right now, Andy Kurtz, though, going backwards in that 05 machine. As he's being swallowed up whole by Corey Bigley and Tyler Rice. Tyler Rice has been running that Hardline. He's going to get a nice run. He's going to look down to the inside of Andy. Andy's struggling here. It's odd as Tyler Rice going to push up into the corner. But odd to see Andy not able to keep pace with these guys up front. So we'll see. Don't know what the strategy is. We'll have more information once these guys have to come down pit road. Maybe Andy knows something we don't know about the fuel mileage. Able to fend off Tyler Rice for now, but yeah, Andy Kurtz started 7th. Or they started in the back, and he hasn't really gained that many positions. Dylan Bates starting to run down Cossack. Cossack got out there early, able to get through the field the fastest, and the tire's starting to go away on that 8 machine as Tyler Rice gets a little bit loose off the corner, almost gets into the wall. Able to avoid any kind of catastrophe, but that was a close call there for the 6 machine. But talking about Michael Cossack, got up there really quick, but it's starting to fade. Daniel Pope has already put about a second on that 8 machine, and now Dylan Bates coming into the picture to take that 3rd place away. And I think that's going to be tough to overcome, man. I don't know. If you can make it to lap 50, Daniel Pope's got to be feeling really good. Dylan Bates as well, as they are moving forward currently. If you can, I wonder if it's going to be a 2-stop race, I wonder if Michael Cossack might head down pit road as soon as possible to get that to get those 4 fresh tires and maybe try to get some of that position back. But looking good for the 16 machine at the moment. Dylan Bates going to drive down in the corner. The trucks are so interesting how they race. A lot of times at these bigger tracks, just because of the horsepower package and the engine and aero package, you can run almost flat out. I think there's just a slight lift into 1 early, and then you can almost be flat out in 3 and 4 like most 1.5 milers in the truck. But once the tires start to wear, you really have to do that on both ends. And 1 and 2, you really come out of the throttle as Dylan Bates really drives down in the corner, gets really close to the back bumper of that 8 machine. But a lot more off throttle time. And in the trucks, that does make a big difference for lap time differentials. I mean, Jonathan Cofield's best lap was a 30.3, and his last lap was a 32.1. That's after 34 laps. And here we go, battle for 3rd place. As here comes Dylan Bates to the inside. He gets a nice run there, and Cossack not going to give him an inch as they go through 3 and 4. And they come off side by side for 3rd place. It's Elliott Carlson and Tyler Rice on pit road currently, but we're going to stay here on this battle for 3rd. And Cossack fighting hard, but, honestly, Daniel Pope loves to see this side-by-side racing as he's going to continue to be able to pull away. So as much as Michael's trying to fight for this 3rd place, I know trying to fight for every position, but he's going to have to give it up there in turn 3 and 4. Dylan gets really close to that wall. So there you have it. Daniel Pope, Dylan Bates running 2nd and 3rd as we get ready for the pit cycles, as we got Kyle Roberts and a great camera angle. Oh, my Lord. Alex Veith coming off pit road. Brings that 51 machine down. So, guys, going for the 2-stop race. So, it looks like that may be the call. Alex Veith's going to come off of pit road. And here we go. Got everybody up front coming down pit road. Well, at least it was Daniel Pope, Dylan Bates, and Corey Bigley. So this team pitting together. And I would imagine you got to think you would see Jonathan Cofield, Cossack, and Andy Kurtz come down next time by. But Cofield still with a 3-point. He's a massive lead as here comes Michael Cossack. Bring that 8 machine down pit road with this being a 2-stop race, and it's gonna most likely be a green flag type deal. Probably not gonna see any yellows tonight. It's imperative that you come down pit road. You get as much as you can on the entry, get as much as you can off of pit road, but you don't want to speed. You cannot have any penalties. You can't slide through your box. Any of those things is going to cause you to have a massive gap between you and the other drivers. So as Cossack comes off of pit road, Elliott Carlson, Daniel Pope going to go right by him. So that one lap earlier is going to make a big difference as Daniel Pope is already up to speed. And you see Cossack coming off a pit road now. Dylan Bates right behind him. So pitting one that lap early here when you can go almost wide open on new tires. I think that's a pretty important thing to do that undercut like that. Well, after the pit road cycle, Jonathan Cofield is coming off a pit road now. He's going to fall back to third place. You see the difference in that pit strategy. Elliott Carlson able to undercut, and he's got 5 laps on his tires, where everybody else has 2 or 1 at the moment. You see just how big of a difference that made. So pretty smart move there. We'll see how long those tires hold up. I mean, he's already about a tenth slower than Daniel Pope behind him. But at 2 seconds, I mean, that's 20 laps of you being in the lead. So I think it's probably worth it if you're the 09 machine. So I would expect to see some other folks maybe think about pitting a little bit earlier next time, especially if you're Andy Kurtz, Michael Cossack. Cofield able to quickly dispatch the 91 of Dylan Bates, and now stayed out a little bit longer than these guys, so he should have the freshest tires. So I would expect to see Cofield be able to make up a good amount of ground, as he's about 3/10 faster than the 2 up front. We've already seen tire wear be sort of a big deal. Michael Cossack kind of got whooped there on that first run on tire wear. Daniel Pope did a fantastic job protecting those tires, and I think Cofield may be falling into a little trap here, as he does have the freshest tires. The problem is, how much is he hurting them by trying to run down the lead? Cofield getting a nice run off of turn 4, and you just see the difference that those fresher tires are making. I mean, it looks like Daniel Pope is running a little bit off the pace on purpose. It's really hard to say where Cofield is going full blast. And Pope actually going to go ahead and just move over, let that 58 go. No point in fighting, as he does have much fresher tires. So now Cofield 1.2 seconds back from your leader, Elliott Carlson, who has about 5 laps older tires than all 3 of these drivers here. So he'll quickly fall back to him, as he's already down to a second now. You see Cofield blink out a little bit. About to have a battle for the lead here, as we're just 3 laps away from halfway here in the championship 4. And here comes Cofield now with that run. Elliott Carlson going to run that bottom line, so the 58 going to keep it wound up. Carlson kind of slides up off the corner. Very close call there. That could have been dangerous. But there goes the 58 right around. So reassumes the lead here after just 8 laps on his tires, as Carlson's starting to struggle a little bit. You can see he's not able to hold the middle of the corner, and now he's going to fall back into his teammates' hands as he's going to go high here and probably let both of these guys go. But I mean, this has been an incredible season. The stats on these Final Four drivers, just knowing how stacked the series has been, man. The Final Four drivers account for 10 wins on the season, which is just incredible. I mean, these guys, there's a reason why they're the Final Four, and there's no doubt about it. Michael Kostick and Dylan Bates both with 3. As you see Dylan now going to the inside, taking over that 3rd position. And both those drivers with 3, but Michael Kostick with an average finish of 8th, and then Daniel Pope with 2 wins. Not as impressive as 3, but the average finish of 5th over the entire season is just incredible. So, and Andy Kurtz, he had an average finish of 8th with his 2 wins, and just an incredible season all the way around by all those drivers. And right now, I mean, Daniel Pope, Dylan Bates have set themselves apart, man. They have come ready to go. And I'm surprised to see Kostick and Andy Kurtz so far back. It's really weird to see that. I expected Kostick, I mean, he got up there really quick, and then you started to see his tires fall off. And now he's just gotten behind on the pit strategy. I mean, he sits about 4 seconds back from Daniel Pope. And you see him, that red truck back there. And while he does have fresher tires, his lap times have equalized with Daniel Pope and Dylan Bates. Andy Kurtz running just a little bit faster, but I think at this point, without a caution, it's going to be really, really tough to make that up. So at the moment, Daniel Pope, Dylan Bates have come prepared. They know what they're doing, and they seem to have the right strategy. Daniel doesn't have to go up there and take the win away from Cofield. Just let him go. All I got to worry about is that number 8 and 05 machine. And I know they talked about it all season long. Daniel Pope, Dylan Bates, they've talked about it, how they wanted to have all SPM in the Final Four. Weren't able to do that. But what better way to celebrate a championship is to battle it out with your teammate, a driver that you've been going back and forth all season long. You run other series with. I think back to the times I've had my teammates in those same positions where, hey, at the end of the day, we're going to win regardless. So we're going to go out there and race our guts out, and whoever wins, best man win. You can't really ask for much better than that. So I know Dylan Bates would love to get up there and battle with that 16, but not quite able to keep the pace that Daniel Pope has been able to put down. Out of the 4 playoff drivers, he is definitely the top dog here tonight. Go back here, check in on Kyle Roberts and Tyler Rice. You see Tyler Rice, man, he is up against that wall and actually may have gotten into it, got stuck to it. And so both of those drivers struggling a little bit there. Man, Tyler is really getting up there. Let's see if we can go on board, see if he's going to stick with it or keep after it. Actually gets to the back bumper and lets off a little bit. He's like, I'm going to run that Larson line and see how she goes. It's not getting up as high that time around, but you see the run that he gets off the top, get right to the back bumper of that 35 machine. I mean, this right here is a perfect example of somebody that's here to just, man, have fun, man. We get out there, let her rip. You look at that big old smile on his face, man. He's having a blast. That's what it's all about, I think. We're talking about playoffs and championships and all that jazz, but this is what you love to see. 2 guys just going after it. Tyler could have passed him a couple laps ago, actually left it off the gas so they could have a little fun, man. That's what I love to see. You see Kyle not a smile on his face, but at least he ain't eating ice cream. He's not on the phone, which is pretty odd for Kyle. If he had 3 arms, he'd definitely be on the phone. Oh, this Tyler's going to get in the wall just a little bit. And going to lose a little bit of ground, but we'll stay here on this battle as Michael Kosick has been able to get around Elliott Carlson for that 4th position. That's a danger of getting up in that top line, man. And he's going to get to that wall again. As he is doing the best he can to stay off that wall, but he is becoming pretty familiar with it now at this point. I bet that right front is not happy about it as he is continuously flirting with it. See a little bit more space than usual against that wall, but apparently battling here for 7th place. Having a blast. But Cofield still leading the way. Daniel Pope not able to make up any ground, but currently running almost exact same lap time as his teammate Dylan Bates, who's about a second back from him. Here's your comparison of the championship race right here between these 2 drivers at the moment. Kosick's about 2.5 seconds back, running a little bit faster. But with the way pit stops has happened, man, I don't know what to do if I'm Kosick or Kurtz. I think, you really can't save tires. Kosick maybe a little bit faster, but we got pit stops coming up. I mean, they pitted on lap 33, 34, and, that's coming up pretty quickly. So just about 5 laps left in this run, so he just didn't have enough time to really make use of that. Him and Daniel Pope, actually, Kosick and Daniel Pope run similar lap times last time by. You start to see this gap between 2nd and 3rd starting to widen out just a little bit. But I think if you're Kosick, you've got to see what they did on that last one. And if you're Andy Kurtz or Kosick, I think you got to throw a Hail Mary here and try to short pit by a couple laps. I mean, they're probably going to come in right after you, but we see the difference that 1 lap made from these 2 guys right here. Really got to try something here for the 8 machine. He's running he's running fast lap times. There's no doubt about that. I think he was the fastest truck on the track last time by, but it's just not enough. He's slowly creeping up to the back bumper of Dylan Bates, but he's got a little over 3 seconds between him and Daniel Pope, so he's got a long way to go to get up to that championship spot. I see that Alex Vieth has removed himself from removed the party hat from his head. I guess that was enough of that. But all Jonathan Cofield here in this 10-car field. And he has led a majority of the laps other than the green flag pit stops. And we're coming up on the last stop here. Maybe the last pit stop in the Rebels Truck Series, Hardline Transport Solutions. I want to thank them for all their support this season. Mike Bertosa made a huge difference, so important to this league. And so definitely want to thank them and all the rest of our sponsors. It's been a great year. And we're coming down to the last little bit of it. Who is going to be the champion currently? Daniel Pope in that 2nd position. He is your championship leader. He's got about a 1.8 second lead over Dylan Bates, his teammate. And, man, I'm just so surprised to see Caustic Kurtz not trying to pit a little bit early here. If I could get down on pit road before these two right here, I think that would be a huge bonus. I mean, Caustic has the pace at the moment to run with Pope, but he's got to be able to get that track position back. And without a caution, which is very unlikely, I'm just so surprised to see them not coming down pit road. Tyler Rice comes down pit road along with Kyle Roberts as they bring their Ford and Chevy down pit road to get 4 tires and fuel, the last one for them. And they'll get back out there, try to make up some time and get back to racing like they were. But still, I'm waiting to see which one of these leaders is going to come down pit road here on lap 68. The window is definitely open. But expecting these drivers soon. Cofield, I think he'll stay out. And he's got when you're the leader, you can afford to stay out longer than everybody else because you've got the time differential. You got 2 seconds of buffer that you can use to your advantage. So he can stay out. He has no – it really doesn't matter. If he comes down pit road, everybody else is coming down pit road. I mean, he has got every advantage that you can imagine being the leader. But if you're Caustic, Andy Kurtz, you don't have the advantage to stay out longer. You can't afford that. And with us getting, the first run was 33 laps. The second run now well above that. Now you only have 30 laps, so if you stay out longer, you're not going to be able to make up that time. I'm just so surprised. Here they come down pit road now as Caustic going to get right to the back bumper as Dylan Bates comes down pit road as well. So both these drivers going to try the undercut on Daniel Pope, but Pope will be coming down next lap for sure. So all 3 of these drivers, just so surprised they didn't come down earlier. Here we go, 4 tires and fuel for these guys. Expect to see Daniel Pope coming down pit road right after him. Try to get down to that 55 mile an hour speed limit, 45. Don't want to go around one more time. That would be almost 2 seconds you would lose if he stayed out one more lap. So he's definitely going to come down and get 4 tires and fuel as Michael Caustic and Dylan Bates are now leaving pit road. Dylan Bates had a really, really good pit stop. Man, just a tough deal for Michael Caustic, who had 15 seconds in his box where Dylan Bates had 14.2. And so that is a huge difference on pit road. We'll see where Daniel Pope blends here as they're coming around the track now. Daniel Pope coming off the apron, trying to get that truck as fast as he possibly can. But here comes Dylan Bates around that 16 machine. That one lap made all the difference in the world. And where is Caustic going to blend? He's going to be right behind him as he's already up to speed. So Caustic, just a horrible pit stop, but that's allowed Dylan Bates to leapfrog the number 16 of Daniel Pope by quite a bit, as Caustic now going to try to take advantage of this track position and try to keep that 16 in his sights. This is where these drivers, you have to, all that skill that you have, you got to be able to put it to use here. What have I been doing right? What have I been doing wrong? I've had 2 pit stops to solve it. And now, this is all the cards on the table. Everything you got, all that you've learned, you got to give the best 28 laps that you got here coming down to the finish. And we got Caustic and Daniel Pope. I would imagine these 2 drivers going to do the best they can. As funny as it's going to sound, work together. I don't think if you're Caustic, you want to get up there and really battle the 16. Kind of want to work together and help run down that 91, but I think Dylan Bates coming in early, having that good pit stop. Look how big a difference it was. And the tires are pretty dang equal, so that's why I'm just so surprised and just didn't see Caustic somebody come down a little bit earlier. Here comes Kosick with a run down the back straight away. What's he going to do? Is he going to – you see Cofield coming out of pit road now as he stayed out a little bit longer just like before. What is Kosick going to do? If you can get around him, you want to do that to get that track position, but at the same time, you don't know if he's going to fight. If he fights too hard, you may never be able to get back to that 91 machine. So looks like he's electing to stay behind that 16 machine and keep him in tow and try to use that draft to run that 91 machine down. But currently, Dylan Bates, the fastest truck on the track, as he is boot scooting right now, and he might be your champion if they can't figure out something to run him down. They've got 2.5 seconds back to the leader. Michael Kosick loses 2/10 that last second, or excuse me, that last lap. I don't know if he got a little bit too tight as he got to the back bumper of that 16. Give that little aero bubble. Makes it very tough to deal with the center of the corner. And you're starting to see Daniel Pope starting to pull away a little bit. As Elliott Carlson, who short pitted again, able to leapfrog these guys, but the difference in the tire is going to make a big difference here. As the 16 and the 8 going to go by this 09 machine. So he's going to actually pull down in front of him and sort of do a little bit of blocking for his teammate. That's one thing we talked about. Teammates working together. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's exactly what Elliott Carlson here is to do. If he's not going to be able to win the race, do the best you can to slow that 8 truck down. And that ever so slight block there might be enough that Pope needs to get away from that 8 machine. And pulling away he is definitely doing as they cross the line. Take a look at the times here on the tower. See Daniel Pope about a tenth faster than Kosick that last lap. Now the question is, with Dylan Bates leading the race, with only 20 laps to go, can Daniel Pope get up there and do something with it? Cofield is currently running his way through the field. But yeah, I mean, just staying out so long, I don't know if you've got enough time. We'll see as the tires start to fall off the cliff in the trucks. There is a cliff where the tires, you're almost wide open on fresh tires, but as they start to wear and they fall off that cliff of how much grip you actually have, it actually drops a lot. You drop about half a second or more every 5 laps or so until it evens out around 32 seconds. So once that starts happening, Jonathan Cofield will catch these guys really, really quick, as he is still in the mid-30s at the moment. So there will be a point where Cofield will most likely catch up to these guys and get around them. But that's just for the race win. But right now, man, Dylan Bates, I mean, just a fantastic job. 14.2 seconds. I mean, the pit road, there's a lot to it. You got to get stopped in your box just right, so your pit crew doesn't have to move around. You'll lose some seconds for that. You don't want to slide through. You want to get down to pit road speed. You don't want to speed. You want to get off pit road, off pit lane, off the on the apron, and blend into the track as fast as you possibly can. And nobody did it faster than Dylan Bates. 14.2 second stop, so the best dice roll you could get, and a 36.6 second pit lane. I mean, that's a second faster than everybody else, and that's why he's got the lead. So just incredible on and off pit road by Dylan Bates. Now, if you're watching those lap times, you see Daniel Pope starting to creep up on the back end of that 91 just ever so slightly. Jonathan Cofield has gotten around his teammate Michael Kosick for third, and he is still boot scooting. He's coming. That's the second time I've said that, so I'm going to stop saying it now. And It's going to get crowded here. You know, Cofield's going to be sort of the missile to kind of break this up and, you know, try to make it tough on these guys. We saw Elliot Carlson make it tough on Kostick. So I don't expect Cofield to be friendly and say, oh, I'm going to give these guys plenty of room. He's going to get up there and race the dog food out of them and make them earn it. So. Just 14 laps to go here in the Hardline Transport Solutions Rebels Truck Series. Dylan Bates is your leader, but it's starting to fade really quickly. Cofield is definitely much, much faster at the moment. But the championship is what everybody's thinking about, everybody's watching for, and everybody's here fighting for. Kostick and Andy Kurtz, unfortunately, just don't seem like they came prepared, as they're just not able to keep the pace with these two up here. As Cofield has now gotten to the back bumper of that 16 machine, going to try to go around to the outside. And not really much that Pope can do. Pope going to probably hope to help get him by and go up there and maybe slow up Dylan Bates a little bit. Now, Pope has been a little bit faster than Dylan, so it may come down to a last lap pass. If they keep this up. It's definitely possible for Pope to get up there and pass and get up there and pass Dylan Bates. Excuse me. I think Cofield has just got too fresh of tires. I don't think Dylan Bates can do anything. I think it'd be probably a danger to fight too hard against that 58 machine. And you see Dylan actually going to go to the top line, try to minimize the losses of time. The 58. Actually, he doesn't. He gets a monster run down the back straightaway, and Cofield will be able to take over this top spot, I would believe, right here, just by the benefit of those tires. Going to slide up in front of that 91, and here we go. Cofield now reassumes the lead, and now the battle is for the championship between the two drivers right here, and that's Dylan Bates and Daniel Pope. As this is their dream scenario. They've been wanting to be in this position all season long, where they don't have to really worry too much about anybody else. It's just teammate on teammate battling it out for the championship. Daniel has been a good bit faster. When I say a good bit, about a tenth or so faster in the last 10 laps or so. So Dylan Bates is going to have to fight like hell. And you can see that truck not wanting to turn down in the corner. You can see him sort of trying to help make that thing make the entry to one. Such a tight entry. 3 and 4 a little bit wider. Use a little bit more throttle. But what do you do if you're Dylan Bates? Now, while Kostick and Kurtz aren't really a factor at the moment, they're only 2 seconds back. So if the fight is too hard and go on for too long, you know, it could definitely draw them in, but how long do you wait if you're Daniel Pope? The decisions here are so tough. As he is right to the back bumper of that 91. He may be waiting on a last lap pass, set him up maybe a couple laps before. Just putting himself, planting him right on that rear bumper. And if where that 91 ever makes a mistake, just a slight slip up, anything goes wrong, he has to lift a little bit, get a little bit too close to that wall, he's ready to strike, and then try to set himself up for a pass at the end of this race. I think that's the best way to do it for those two. Kind of run in line, draft a little bit, and race it out at the end where Kostick just doesn't have a chance to get caught up. right now, battle for the championship is right in front of your eyes. Dylan Bates and Daniel Pope showing why they are in the Final Four, man. It's been a fantastic season for both of them. They've been extremely fast, and I cannot wait to see how this plays out at the end. Oh, yeah, Dylan Bates going to slide up just a little bit. I tell you what, Daniel Pope smelt blood there. As you can see that front end of that truck rotate in the middle of the corner. He tried to gas it up and take advantage of it, just not quite able to do it just yet. But here it is, man, right in front of our eyes. We got a great battle. This is for the championship. Kostick not able to make up any time, even with these guys sort of racing. So these two are going to get to settle it. 4 laps to go here in this season. Cannot wait to see. Here comes Daniel Pope. He's going to go down to the inside now. He feels like it's time to strike. Gives him 2 or 3 laps to really fight it out with Dylan Bates. We've seen Dylan be able to hold that Hardline for quite a while. Let's see if he can hold off that 16, who has been a tire-saving master all race long. Right here into turn 1, that's where he's got to be the best. Is 3 and 4, he can really hold the top side. We've seen Dylan really struggle here as they go through the middle of the corner. This is for the championship with 3 laps to go here. They are side by side. Can Dylan Bates hold them off? He's got a higher entry into 3 and 4. Going to try to kind of run down the track, keep the run, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hold him off. They come off the corner. Dylan Bates really close to the wall. Oh, man, that's exciting. 2 laps to go here in this. And we got a side-by-side battle for the championship. You see in 1 and 2, you see Daniel Pope starting to chip away at that advantage. Dylan Bates not able to get into 1 and 2 as good as he'd like. Let's see if he can make it up in 3 and 4. This is his only hope, is to make 3 and 4 work. Able to keep the RPMs up. He's up in that upper groove. Not quite on the door of that 16. And, man, Pope is looking strong. 2 laps to go, still side by side, and they're still pulling away from Michael Kostick. Even side by side. Ooh, not a very good corner for Dylan Bates. He's going to lose the lead, I think, as the 16 going to try a crossover. Goes back to the outside. Here comes the 91 again. He's going to try to make a move here, but I think that 16 has got him. I don't think that 91 has anything left in that right front. They come off the corner. Does Dylan Bates have a run? White flag is out for Jonathan Cofield, but we stay here on this battle. Does Dylan Bates have anything left? He got to get a good run through 1 and 2. He can't screw this turn up to have a chance in 3 and 4. Man, he's just struggling off the exit. Coming down the back straightaway. Coming to 3 and 4. I think Daniel Pope has got it. He goes through 3 and 4. And coming off of turn 4, here comes Jonathan Cofield as he is going to win here at Charlotte. And Daniel Pope is going to win the championship here tonight. Wow. My goodness. You love to see it. I tell you, that's exactly what we were looking for. A battle there. Even though it was for second, it was a great battle between those 2 drivers. And Daniel Pope is going to be your Rebels Truck Series champion. What a fantastic season. A deserving champion for sure. Wow. Well, that was a lot of fun. I tell you, they know how to put on a show. I think Dylan tried as hard as he possibly could. I think the 16's tire was just a little bit better. And 1 and 2 just so tough to make it happen. And on the outside, but held on as long as he could. So, man, what a great season. And Daniel Pope has earned this championship, no doubt about it. I mean, just been a fantastic season. Some love taps at the end. Just lots of respect out there. I know not there's some love lost in a lot of places, but dadgummit if it ain't a lot of respect at least. And there you go. Daniel Pope is your champion here in Season 6, the Hardline Transport Solutions. At number 16, Toyota takes home the championship. So congratulations to him. Well, there you have it. That is it for the Truck Series. It comes down to the end. And, man, those SPM boys look fast, and they were able to get it done here tonight. Come in with a plan, executed no cautions here in this 10-car field. And so there you have it. What a great way to end it off with a 3-lap battle side by side between the two drivers. But let's go ahead and talk to your winner, Jonathan Cofield, and get him up into the booth, and we'll see what he thought about that win. As he was the biggest whooping. And he put the biggest whooping on everybody as he had a 2-second lead there at the end. Let's bring him up in the field in the booth. Talk to him. Cofield, this Eddie in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Oh man, I'm doing all right. But man, what a way to cap off the season. Weren't in the Final Four, just barely missed it. A heartbreak last week or 2 weeks ago. But you came out tonight ready to go as you were able to get the lead and led majority of this race. Had a nice buffer. Every pit stop, able to come in a little bit later, have the fresher tires, go up there and pass those guys. And, man, able to get the win. So congratulations, man. Tell me about it. How'd that race go? What was your strategy? And, do you feel like it worked out in your favor? I mean, obviously it did, but do you feel like you made the right calls? Did you second-guess yourself, I guess is what I'm saying?
I think it worked out pretty good. I noticed on that first run, I was trying to save a little bit, but I was still kind of keeping Pope at, 2 seconds. He'd gain a little bit, and I'd gain a little bit. So when I see him peel off pit road, I'm like, man, I still got five laps of fuel left. So you know how I say, how iRacing is in fresh tires, no matter if it's 1 or 2 laps. So I stayed out and had 2 good pit stops. Was able to run them back down. Pretty boring race, but I got to watch them battling for that championship in my rearview mirror. But just happy all the bad luck I've had, I've come win this last race for us.
Yeah, I mean, talk a little bit about the season. I mean, I know it's disappointing, but I said before, if you make it into the final 8, I mean, that's got to be it's so impressive. So, talk a little bit about this season. I mean, you looking back, is there any? You had a few wins. It's been a normal season for you where you're up front most of the time. Is there any races that you look back on, or anything that you look back on and you say, man, I wish I could have that one back?
Yeah, there's a couple races I look at, wishing, I wouldn't have done something stupid or got on the throttle a little too hard and spun the tires or, run too hard. A lot of these guys in here is damn good drivers, man. This is probably the strongest field in the truck series we've had in a little while. But, it was a lot of fun out there, man.
All right. Well, man, congratulations on a fantastic season and a great way to finish it off. Man, as always, who you got to thank? Any sponsors, shout-outs out there?
Oh, yeah. You up in the booth, Eddie. You know how I feel about you. Great broadcast as always. All of our admins that put all this stuff together for us, the drivers, Cofield Asphalt Refinish and Cofield Supply and Service, my teammates at Bandits. Kind of wish him Cossack could have got up there and done something. I don't know if he was where he was struggling, but kind of wish he'd got up there and run with him a little bit.
All right. Well, man, congratulations on the win tonight. And, man, a great season.
Thank you, sir.
Well, there you have it. Your race winner, Jonathan Cofield. But, man, it's a championship race. So we're here to talk to the champions. But you know what? We'll talk to second place in the standings, third place in the race, Dylan Bates. So let's get him up into the booth right now. If I can find him. Dylan Bates is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Man, what a great race. So much fun to see you guys battle it out side by side for the last 2 or 3 laps for the championship. Man, a hell of a call to pit a little bit early on that last pit stop. And just, I got to give you props, man. You're almost a second faster in the lane pit lane than anybody else. We had a great pit stop in the box, but you come out with that lead. I mean, what was your thoughts as you kind of been running, around that same position all race long? What were your thoughts when you came out with that lead in that track position over your teammate?
Well, judging by what I saw the last run from Cofield, I knew that it was going to be tough to short pitting like that because, like, even one extra lap on your tire down a ton, and obviously it came out that way where Pope's one lap pressure tires got me there at the end. But I've never been that great at sharp. I was going to have to do something a little different to try to get that track position back and try to make something happen. So, and I felt like I was really good on pit road, like you said. So I felt like I could use that to my advantage and get out ahead. And it almost worked. It just didn't quite work.
What do you think what you were doing different? I mean, I could go back and look at every single detail to try to figure out why you were so much faster. But, I mean, what do you think you were doing better? Was it getting into, onto pit lane or getting off? Where do you think you were that much better than your competition around you?
I think it all just builds on every aspect. I was just trying to be just a little bit better everywhere I could. I think Cossack got into pit road a little better than me that last time. But if you just make sure you're really focused and keep all your lights green. And the biggest thing I think is on these concrete pit stalls, it's all about not spinning your tires coming out of your box. You can gain a lot of time just having a smooth clutch drop and roll out of there easy, and then just hammer down around the apron, try not to spin out.
Well, I mean, you nailed it to perfection. And then there at the end, I mean, what was the thought going through your mind? What were you trying to do? You knew that if he got ahead of you with the way this works, it's going to be tough to make a comeback. What were you trying to do? We saw early when he got inside of you really tried to pinch him down in the corner. And then as that kept going on, you started to spread that out in the middle of the corner. What were you trying to do differently to try to hold on to that spot?
Yeah, I thought that keeping my momentum wound up around the outside would be the better option just because these are lower horsepower motors. And I thought that if I kept my momentum up around by the wall, I'd be able to just finally clear him back on one of the straightaways. But that one time in 1 and 2, man, he hooked up and got a huge run on the bottom, and there was nothing I could do to stop it from that point.
Well, man, still, I mean, a hell of a way. You guys talked about it all season long. You guys want to be battling each other for this championship, and it all came to fruition tonight as you two had the rest of the other two playoff drivers covered, and you got to battle it out at the end. No better way of doing it for sure. Man, congratulations on a great season, a great playoff run. Come up a little bit short, but your teammate still wins. That's still a win, for y'all. So congratulations. And, man, as always, who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout-outs?
Yeah, TB Enterprises and all the guys at Superior Performance Motorsports. There are a lot of, like I always say, they're a good group of guys to race with, and it shows tonight just with me and Pope and the respect between us, and it was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, there you have it, Dylan Bates, your second place in the championship, third place in the race. And then we've got our champion, Season 6 champion, Daniel Pope. Going to get him up in here and see what he thinks about it tonight. Daniel, this is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, man.
Well, man, what a race. So much fun to watch you guys battle it out there for the championship there at the end. I talked to Dylan about this, but y'all talked about it all season long. You wanted to have all SPM in the Final Four. Weren't able to do that, but you're able to get two of you. And honestly, you guys were the only two in this race tonight in the championship hunt. I mean, y'all just had the other two covered. And talk a little bit about what it means to be able to battle your teammate out for the last 3 or 4 laps for a championship.
It was a lot of fun. I honestly thought he had jumped me there. He short pitted by that 1 lap, and it made up that time. And I didn't think 1 lap fresher tires would really save me. So I'm kind of surprised I got back to him and was able to even get around him. I thought I might get back to him, but sorry, my daughter just ran out here. So I was really lucky to get back around him, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, the race was, it's obviously going to be a green flag race. 100 laps. You had to make 2 pit stops. I mean, what were your thoughts, entering into the race? And once you got sort of up to the front from having to start in the back and you started to pull away from Caustic there on that first run, you had to feel pretty good about your chances. and then you talked about that leapfrog at the end. I mean, mentally, what do you have to do, knowing that you might have the fresher tires there at the end? But I mean, mentally, what do you got to do to hold off and say, I think I can make this pass work if I can just stay committed? Talk about how hard it is to keep yourself calm in those scenarios where you think, all right, I'm on the bottom. I know I'm probably going to get him, but I got to be patient. I can't put myself in trouble.
I'll back up and start earlier. It was the most difficult thing in the world not to continue to pace for the lead.
Yeah.
I had to play the same tires as the other playoff drivers. I couldn't really race the leader, and I wanted to go long like Jonathan did, but I just had to follow suit with the other four because that was the ultimate goal. So that was the most painful, difficult thing that I had to mentally deal with in this race, was knowing that I was going to get off cycle with the leader, and I really had to just race the other playoff guys. Like I'm used to racing the race, not really the points, you know. So that was tough. And then when I came out so far behind Dylan, I wanted to run wide open. You know, I wanted to run qualifying laps every lap, run him down as fast as possible. But I knew that if I did that, by the time I got there, I'd have the right front burn off and I'd be done. So yeah, I just had to tell myself, you got to pace. And I paced, and honestly, Cofield coming back and passing me, and then getting Dylan worked up off the bottom, and kind of slowing him down for a lap or two, I feel like really gave me an opportunity.
Well, were there any thoughts there at the end where, you know, Kostick was about 2 seconds back and you felt like you were a little bit faster, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe 10 laps to go, but it looked like maybe you thought, let me just hang out back here and just save a little bit of tire, stay in his tire tracks, wait for him to make a mistake. Was that intentional, or was just you were just slowly trying to catch up, or were you trying to hang back, wait till about 3 or 4 laps to go to make your move?
I was trying to save just a little bit of tire because I knew when I went to the bottom, he was going to pin down on my right side really hard, and I was going to have tire, or we were going to wind up wrecking. And that's the last thing I wanted to do. So I felt like that I would be able to clear him if I got to his inside. So I just I stayed there. I tried a little up-down move to see what kind of run I'd get off to, just kind of playing around. And then when I finally got side by side with him, it was just try to hold him off, and then that really wild, aggressive block on the back straightaway to stop the crossover.
Yeah, well, hey, look, got me all excited. It was for a kind of I wouldn't say a snoozer race, but just tough to have anything to talk about. Y'all really lit it on fire there at the end. So, man, congratulations on the championship. I mean, that ties you with Kostick and Dylan Bates for the win total of the season. I mean, the best average finish by a mile. As far as deserving drivers, I think you topped that list. So to come in here and get that championship, congratulations, man. As always, man, who you got to thank? Who you got to thank for this championship?
I want to thank all the guys at SPM. They've worked together great all season. You do this broadcast. Jason Warren being the best cheerleader possible. The guys in the league that show respect and race with respect, there's quite a few here that are respectful, and then there's some that are not. And those guys, thank to them for a great season and a great time here.
Well, all right. Well, Daniel Pope, you're champion here in Rebels. He takes home second place, but the championship, and man, just a fantastic race between his teammate. I can't think of a better way to win a championship, battle your teammate out for the win, because you just not. I mean, if it's somebody that you just don't like and y'all racing side by side, you're like, I gotta get him, and you lose. Oh, it's just the worst. But when it's your teammate, it's not so bad. So Dylan Bates, while he would love to be the champion, he is probably not feeling too bad about it. So, man, just a lot of fun this season. Want to thank all of our sponsors. Jeff by Junior Art. You've got the Chuck Peg Leg Pole Award. Of course, the Flexible Freight Solutions post-race show. We've got the Hard Luck Award by No Neck Fast Repair and the Hard Charger Award by Dark Horse Motorsports, which does go to Andy Kurtz here tonight, which I'm sure he doesn't want any part of. So, yeah, man, just a fantastic race. I want to thank all of our sponsors. Just a fantastic season. Again, I'm just going to keep reiterating. It's just so much fun. I had a blast this season, and I really appreciate everybody watching, everybody giving likes to the videos. And, if you like what you see, definitely hit the subscribe button. It helps kind of keep us in the algorithm. And, If you like it, let me know. If you dislike it, hell, leave a comment. Send me a message. Let me know what you want to see different. I'm always up to try new stuff and try to improve. But, man, congratulations. You can see the results on the screen. Jonathan Cofield, Daniel Pope, Dylan Bates, Michael Kostick, Andy Kurtz round out your top 5. Elliott Carlson comes home in 6th. Tyler Rice in 7th. Kyle Roberts in 8th. Alex Feith in 9th. Corey Bigley in 10th. And I think that would be, if we look at the back of the pack standings, I think Corey has got that wrapped up by just the fact that Brandon Wallace didn't show up tonight. So congratulations to Corey Bigley. That's another SPM win, being the best of the rest. So congratulations to him. But all right, guys, well, that's it. Man, what a season. Well, we are done here. And again, congratulations to Daniel Pope. Fantastic season. A well-deserving champion. And we're going to take a break. We'll see y'all in a few months. And we'll get this thing kicked off again. But another good season here in Rebels. Well, y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for watching. We will see y'all next time.